Pastor Shay, aka Chaplain G, coming back at y'all with another word of encouragement for today. So, I know I talk a lot on here about the current decay of our culture and society, and I think it's because I'm really worried about it. You know what I mean? I feel like as we see what some of the problems are, we're able to better speak to them, maybe bring healing, maybe bring restoration, maybe bring us all back together, because the way things are headed now, the trajectory we're on, it's leading to utter ruin and destruction and separation from one another, and separation from God, most importantly. And this isn't the first time in history that a country or a nation has gotten off track. We're just one in a long line of places that once honored God, but then pursued other things. And it led to their destruction, and it's leading to ours. One such nation is the nation of Israel, right? So as they come out of slavery in Egypt and they go into the land, God doesn't appoint kings over them as of yet. But the people, as they're supposed to be in the land and they're supposed to be honoring God, instead they start to pursue other gods, other ways of life, other morals and values that God did not want them to have. And we get the book of Judges, essentially. In the book of Judges, it is, for all intents and purposes, it is like the wild, wild west. They get progressively worse and worse as they go away from God and pursue other gods, and they don't have a king to kind of rule over them. They just have themselves and the law that God gave them, and they just decided not to follow it. And so the people would get captured by their surrounding neighbors, and they would cry out for help, and then God would send a helper called one of the judges. And it's not like Judge Judy kind of judge. This is like like Xena, warrior princess, or Hercules kind of person, right? That's just going around doing justice, kicking tail and taking names kind of person, right? And the book of Judges is wild because the rescuer will come, they rescue the people praise God for a little while, but then they go right back to what they were doing, but they do it worse than they were before. And it's just this downward cycle of morals and values, and they get further and further away from God, further and further away from His holiness, His righteousness, and what He deemed as right for His people. So one such person is the story of Japheth. So quick little sidebar just before I continue. This whole time I'm gonna end up saying Japheth. It's more like Jephthah. So y'all bear with me. Sometimes in my old age in a vision, I don't say words right. So Jephthah is what I actually meant to say. But I'm gonna say Japheth the whole time. Back to the show. He's one of the judges, and he was a dude that, actually, you know what? Let me just read you the story. I'm going to read you a part of the story, because I think you'll pick up on what I'm trying to say if I just read this to you. So this is the book of Judges, chapter 11. I'm going to pick it up in verse 29. Y'all check this out. It says, "Then the Spirit of the Lord was upon Japheth, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh, and passed on to Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead he passed on to the Ammonites. And Japheth made a vow to the Lord and said, If you will give the Ammonites into my hand, then whatever comes out from the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the Ammonites shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Japheth crossed over to the Ammonites to fight against them, and the Lord gave them into his hand. And he struck them from Oyer to the neighborhood of Meneth, 20 cities, and as far as Abel Keramim, with a great blow. So the Ammonites were subdued before the people of Israel. Then Japheth came to his home at Mizpah, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with tambourines and with dances. She was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And as soon as he saw her, He tore his clothes and said, "Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you have become a great cause of trouble to me. For I have opened my mouth to the Lord, and I cannot take back my vow." What happens in a culture and society and a nation when they start going against God? They actually start putting on God things that He's not for. So they're like, in this case with Japheth, right? The surrounding nations, they would offer up sacrifices to God, and not just like grain or wine or stuff like that. They would offer up human sacrifices. And so I don't know if Japheth thought that one of his servants was going to come out the house. I don't know if he thought like some kind of animal was going to come out. He definitely wasn't expecting his daughter to come out. But here's the twist. God never asked for that. God never asked him to offer up a human sacrifice. That's not the character of God. God actually, because He doesn't want this human sacrifices, decided to sacrifice His own Son for the sins of His people. Why would God put that onto people that were not a part of that plan? Like, His plan was always to sacrifice His Son on behalf of the people. He didn't want people to put their children up for sacrifice. Like, people, for this culture and society that was surrounding the nation of Israel, they would offer up their children, their babies, to put them on funeral pyre and burn them as a sacrifice, hoping to please the gods. They would put to death people they had captured in war, put them to death, hoping they would please God, and God never asked for any of that. And as cultures and societies, as we start getting away from God, not knowing the character of God, we start putting on Him things that He's not for. And so we live in a nation right now that thinks God is for abortion. We think God is for broken marriages. We think God is for people's happiness and just living their best life now. We think that God is for people pursuing their own identity, an identity contrary to the identity He's given them. We put all these things on God as if He's for them, and God never asked for them. What He wants of us, what He demands of us, is for us to live a holy and righteous life, giving glory and honor to the Son, as the Son glorifies the Father, and as the Spirit of God glorifies the Son. He wants us to put love and dedication and our life, our sacrificial life, not putting ourselves to death, but laying aside our identity, laying aside our sexuality, serving instead of trying to be served. He wants us to lay down the life for the sake of others, counting others as more important than ourselves. Japheth wanted to win this war so bad that he was willing to put to death his only daughter for the sake of a win. It's not the character of God. We have a problem in our nation too. We think that we can sacrifice others just so we can win at life. That's not the character of God. We need to come back to God. We need to more fully understand His character. We need to more fully understand the love that He has for His people. We need to fully understand where we stand as being a sinful people in front of a holy God. And we need to understand the remedy for that sin is the man Jesus Christ. So, I hope that's a word of encouragement for y'all. I'm digging through the text on this one, as I like to say now. But please hit me up in the email if you need me to pray for you. I'd love to. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. That's free to y'all. But it means a ton over here because it means more people can hear about the love of God in their lives. So that's what I have for today. Hope y'all doing well. And until next time, grace and peace.